Hi guys, in today's lesson I'm going to take a look at the partitive forms of articles in French, which are usually used in talking about of something. So basically, if you want to say I need 2 teaspoons of sugar, for example, you would use de. Well, however, there are certain forms for the partitive articles, and I would recommend you to remember them as such. De and le, they make du, which is the masculine singular form. De and la make de la, which is the feminine singular form. And de and les make de, which is the masculine or feminine plural. So, when do we use the partitive articles? We use the partitive articles in the following cases. When we talk about a person's job or religion. For example, je suis professeur d'Allemagne. I am a German teacher. And basically, the mot-à-mot translation would be I am a teacher of German. But because we do a little bit of adaptation in English to translate it, we get I am a German teacher. We also use it when expressing quantities, as I've already said. Je veux quelque de ceci. I want some of what's here. Or je veux de ça de farine. Uh, I need 2 packs of flour, right? We also use it when adjectives are placed before nouns. For example, j'ai vu de belles filles. I've seen some beautiful girls. Or in negative sentences, as we've already said in our previous lesson regarding the indefinite articles, some of them are going to be uh, basically when you have a negative form, you can transform un, une, or des into de or de, which are basically what we have over here, partitive forms. So in this case, we have je ne veux pas des pommes because we are talking about I don't want any of this. Je ne veux pas de pommes. I'm sorry. This is a mistake, a writing mistake over here. Je ne veux pas de pommes because I don't want any apples. So basically what I'm referring to is a singular something, right? And for us to practice these concepts, I've prepared an exercise. So we need to complete the right article, specifying what type of article is missing. So we can have any of it. We can have partitive articles, we can have indefinite articles, we can have definite articles, and I'm also going to link the contents in the description. So check out the description before trying to do this exercise on your own. And in a few seconds, we're going to discuss it. So all right, we're going to start with the first sentence. Now, we know that animal means animals. Basically, I've translated in English what we need to obtain. The animals which you talked to me about are wicked. So, the animals, we know the in English is a definite article. So, in this case, you need to say les animaux. Also, if we did not have the translation, how would we know that we need to use the definite article? We would look at whether there is something after this after the noun, which indicate that there might be details about what we are talking, right? So obviously, because I'm using dont, which means about which, right? Uh, this introduces details about the subject that we are talking here. So obviously, we also need to use le, which is the definite article to be used. I'm not going to repeat myself. Animal over here is a plural from animal, which means animal, and here we have animals, right? So the definite article in plural form is les. Les animaux dont tu me parlais, about which you were talking to me or you talked to me about, are wicked. Now we're going. This is not the usual let's say way you translate. You could say are sont méchantes, right? And it would be an adjective, but now we can also use a nounish, let's say, um, formulation to do it. And in order to say that, we would need to use de, which is in this case an indefinite article, right? It's an indefinite article. And why is that? Well, let's look at the partitive cases. We're not talking about a person's job or religion. We are not expressing quantities. We are not placing adjectives before nouns, and we do not have a negative sentence in any case. So, what we need to say over here is that something that we're talking about are describing a certain type of character, right? So, we do not know exactly which type of character. We do not know the details about why they are wicked and what did they do to be wicked. So, in this case, we would use an indefinite article because an um, it is also an uncountable concept, right? Of how much of wicked you have or not. When we are talking about personality traits in general, we would use indefinite articles. Now, I have something like this. I want some flour. Je veux farine. Farina is the flour. Now, we know that farina is la farina, which means it is a feminine noun. Okay, so we know that we need a feminine article in this case. Now, in order, is flour in this case countable? No, it's not. So, obviously, we need to use either an indefinite article or a partitive article. How do we do the difference? Well, do we express a quantity over here? Yes, we do express a quantity because I know I want some. I don't know how much I want of it, but we want some. When we are talking about quantities, we see that we need to use the partitive article. Je veux de la farine because this is the feminine form, feminine singular form. Je veux de la farine. Pour un gâteau, for the cake, in this case. Now, there is a debate, you could say. Well, Andre, you said that when we are introducing a relative clause, we also need to use an indefinite article. What are you doing? Well, you could use an indefinite article, and let's see how it would translate it. I want some flour for a cake that I'm making for Sophia's party. This would work as well, no problem. But generally, when you're going to a party, let's say, and let's say you are making a cake, right? You only bring one cake, so it's a pretty kind of specific, right? And at least in my culture, I don't know, I guess this depends on cultures as well, and so on and so forth. But the thing is, you could use either un gâteau or le gâteau, right? In this case, there is no, let's say, right or wrong answer for this one because we are talking either about a specific thing, which is the cake that I'm going to prepare for the for Sophia's party. We know the party. We know that we are going to prepare a cake. We don't know which type. Depends on how what you consider very specific, but also considering that in a party you only have one cake, it is pretty specific. So there may be a debate about this. I would go with le in this case. And then you have Je prépare pour la fête Sophia. Now, we're talking about a type of possession over here. And it's the kind of the same thing that we're talking about in this case. When you're talking about a person's job, a person's religion, a person's also possession, you are going to use this type of article, de, right? Which is a partitive article. And also I forgot pers- to also say which type of article. So you have either indefinite or definite article over here. And here we have another partitive article. Right, right. Okay, and lastly, I have on Sunday, I go to the church on the hill. Now, we're going to have something like this. Le dimanche. And why do I say le? Because it expresses a habit, right? So it's something very specific. I go somewhere, I go to the church, but it's it's in order to specify the habit that I'm making. Every Sunday, basically, I go to the church. And I go to a very specific place also in this case because it's not just a church, and it's also part of the habit. So we know that we're talking about something specific. So over here, we also need to use l, which is would be l'église, but because we have the two vowels one after another from different words, then we use the process of elision and we obtain l. Je vais à l'église sur la colline. Right, right. So both in this case, both are definite articles. Well, that would be it for today's lesson, and this is the complete answer. I hope that it was of great help to you, and I hope to see you in my next video where we're going to talk about another grammar concept. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section, and also try to write a little bit of text. It's a little bit of a challenge describing an object or in let's describing anything, an object, a recipe, a person, using different articles, right? Different articles, partitive, definite or indefinite. Up until next time, bye bye.